Well, Julian Assange's final appeal against his extradition has wrapped up. On the second day, lawyers for the US government presented their case as to why the WikiLeaks founder should be extradited to face charges of espionage. Joining me live from London now is the Director of International Campaigners at Reporters Without Borders, Rebecca Vincent. Rebecca, thanks so much for your time. We heard from Jen Robinson earlier in the program. She is a human rights lawyer, part of Assange's legal counsel. She said the court seemed like it was particularly troubled by some of the arguments coming from the US side. Was that what you picked up as well?
I did think that some of the judges' questioning, particularly today when the US presented its case, was interesting. And it definitely shows that there's reflection on some serious points. From our perspective, that means that there should be a full hearing, because this 2 days was just focused on Julian Assange's defense's application to appeal. So if any of these grounds are accepted, that means that we could see further hearings in the UK. But if they reject them all, then that means that's the end of the road in terms of domestic proceedings, and he would only then have recourse with the European Court of Human Rights.
Okay, so still going through the justice system, there has been, a diplomatic push as well. We know that Anthony Albanese has raised this issue. But what is not explored enough here is, I think, the hypocrisy by the US. Chelsea Manning was pardoned and is living a free life. Julian Assange has been languishing in this prison for more than 5 years now.
That's a point that we raise as well. So Chelsea Manning, of course, was the leaker, and she served nearly 7 years in prison before President Obama commuted her sentence and stated that the longer sentence she had received of 35 years was disproportionate. But Julian Assange, not only has he been in prison for 5 years, he's been deprived of his liberty through various means for 13 years. But if he goes to the US, he faces possibly 175 years in prison. This is the first time a publisher has been pursued in this way. It's really difficult to understand when the leaker has already been to prison, why the publisher would be sought after in this way.
Rebecca, what's at stake here in your view?
For us, so my organization, our mandate is press freedom, and we really believe this case is about journalism. It's about press freedom. The US tried to argue against that today, that it's nothing to do with journalism, but that's simply not true, because we and many other like-minded groups around the world and many policymakers, including in Australia, and I think this is making a difference, believe that the publication of these documents was in the public interest. It informed extensive public interest reporting around the world, exposing crimes that have never been persecuted. Only the publisher is being pursued as a criminal here. And that is really, really troubling and would set an alarming precedent.
It certainly would, and it seems his biggest crime at this point is that he embarrassed the US government quite severely. Look, Rebecca, thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for staying up for us as well. We'll check in with you over the next few days and weeks, and let's hope it's some good news.
Yeah, thanks, Laura.